So you want my honest review of the Fanatec ClubSport GT Cockpit? How is it? Is it strong? Does it flex? What's my long-term review? Is it worth $1,000? Well, I'm going to let you know in this video because I have been using this Fanatec ClubSport GT Cockpit for a long time now, reviewing a lot of equipment, Simucube equipment, Asetek equipment, Conspit equipment, Fanatec equipment, Thrustmaster equipment, Simnet equipment, like loads of stuff has been on this rig. I've been throwing everything at it and I'm going to let you know. And it is $1,000 just for the rig, not including the seat. And there are some things I like about it and some things I don't like about it. And I've been making some modifications, and some of the modifications I've made I think are really good. So firstly, you can just see for yourself whether there's any flex or not. I'm not going to, well, I'll let you know. I don't think there's any flex, but you can see what's going on here and if there is or if there isn't. It is a tubular rig, so it's not an 80-20 aluminium extrusion rig. And it is $1,000, and I think that is quite expensive. But for me, like I said, I'm not worried about flex at all. Now, the way that this cockpit came, and this is a review unit cockpit, I did not pay for this cockpit, this is a review cockpit from Fanatec, but if you've seen this channel, you know that I'm just brutally honest about all equipment, including Fanatec, and it comes basically in two parts. So this side here is kind of one part, you just have to bolt this middle bit, and then the same on the other side, and then it connects with some struts, like you can see one at the back there, there's one here, the seat as well, the pedal deck becomes like a, you know, a joining part as well, and there's a shroud which I haven't put on, I've removed, and I'll explain why. Now I was worried when I was building that it was going to kind of wobble or flex, but it just, to my mind, it just doesn't. And I've got a 25 Newton meter wheelbase on here, and we've been putting active pedals on here and everything, so it's super sturdy to my feeling. This is hollow, if you didn't know, so this is all hollow. In the video where I think the inventor of this rig gives you a guide on how to build it, at one point he fairly nonchalantly lifts it up. That's difficult for me. Like, this is a heavy rig, like it's not super heavy, but it's a heavy rig for me. Like, it's a sturdy heavy rig. Okay, let's get on to some things I like and don't like. So the first thing I want to talk about is the wheel deck. And this is a really nice feature. So it's very simple. All you do is you unbolt these two things here, you just loosen them. And now with one hand, you can move the pedal deck forward and back. Now what that means is you can make very minute adjustments. Can you see here how it's hitting my knee, right? Can you see my knee is getting battered by my hand? If you're driving and that's happening, please just comment under my videos and just let me know, because I can try and help you, because that is not a good position to be in. Now, I'm going to explain why this is more important than you might think. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to lose my safety stop there. I'm going to try and get it into a position that when my left leg is bent off the brake, I'm not touching it. Can you see here? Like, I'm not touching it. I can just feel the hairs on my knee just a little bit. So that's kind of basically perfect for me. And now I'm going to tighten it. The reason why I think that's important, and yes, I am changing equipment all the time on this rig, because I'm trying to review so much equipment for you, honestly, on this channel. So if you're enjoying this, make sure you subscribe right now. And if you're already subscribed, leave a fire emoji in the comments so I know. But even if you're not changing wheelbase a lot, if you are hot swapping rims, all rims have a slightly different position and where they are backwards and front and so forth and so, you know, go on. So actually having that ability to make a minute adjustment, I think, is really powerful. So I like that. This is a really nice feature. This is one of the best features of the rig. We're going to talk about these nuts, these bolts later on, because this is where I have a problem. But here, they work really well. You just sort of all done. Now I have made a modification to this wheel deck. If you're eagle-eyed, you can see that I've changed the bolts here, okay? Because what I do to actually change my wheelbase is I loosen this slightly, and then I take these ones off on each side, and I flip the the wheel deck like this, and then I can access the wheelbase upside down. If you've put on a wheelbase recently that has T-slot, you'll know how much of a game changer that is. That's pretty unique for my use case, but I quite like it. But like I said, I promise you I'm going to talk about why these are a problem later on. Let's mention the seat, because firstly, you can see that it's not a single seat. It bolts together a top half and a bottom half. And I did not like that when I saw that in the box. I was like, just send me a seat like everyone else, because I don't want any flex. but you can adjust you can see for yourself what kind of is going on with the seat, as a Simucube isn't liking that. For me, I don't really notice a lot of flex, and in fact, I like the seat. It's very comfortable. It's very airy. It kind of has a nice material. When I first tried this in Germany about a year ago, I knew that I would really like the seat, and it's going to be comfortable for a bigger person as well. So if you're even bigger than me, it's going to be comfortable. This is a nice feature of a tubular rig. Look how much space there is here to get in and out of this rig. Look how it fits with kind of my body getting in and out. The combination of this seat being super comfortable and that ease of access is huge. Like, that is genuinely a big deal, because it just makes the rig an inviting place to be and easy to access. They could have very easily added a strut coming down like here to add more stability, right? Now, I don't think we need that stability anyway, because I'm not seeing any flex there. And you can see they've put the strut here. But the fact it's done like that just means it's so easy to jump in. You can see in the front that that's some recording software I use to make videos. I actually edit videos here. Like, I jump in and I edit videos, and we'll talk about accessories later on. It's just a super comfortable place to be. They've added this kind of adjustment mechanism. I don't think it's super easy to use, because you kind of need to unscrew all four on either side and then push the seat back and forward into slats and everything. And it's a bit of trial and error, but I respect that they've done that, because it does give you that adjustability. But I think if you're trying to do it on yourself, you will be frustrated. It's not super easy to do, or maybe I'm just not very good at doing it. Probably a combination of both. But it does give you the ability to tilt the seat back, or go more like GT or Formula, whatever you want to do. So you do have that adjustability. That's not something I'm going to be messing around with too much once I've got the position that I like. The other thing about the seat, it does move on a slider back and forwards. I would say that, and this might be the way that I built it, it's quite difficult for me to move the seat backwards and forwards if I'm not in it. I need to have my weight in it, and then it moves quite easily. That, to me, is a little bit frustrating sometimes, like if I'm want to move the seat when I'm not in it. You can see behind me I've got stuff here. Sometimes I want to create some space. Okay, let's move on to the pedal tray. This is where things are going to get a bit contentious, and I would love your feedback as well if you've read about this rig or you've got this rig, because my purposes on this rig are a little bit extreme, because like I said, I'm chopping and changing so much equipment all the time. This is not a fantastic pedal tray deck thing to change pedals easily, for a couple of reasons. One, the rig comes with a shroud here to, I think, add more stability. It connects both sides. That means it's not easy to put your hands in the top and kind of adjust the pedals. So I removed the shroud, and that hasn't affected the adjustability and flexibility for me, as you've seen. Secondly, the pedal tray itself has two layers to it. You have the top layer that has pre-drilled slats and holes for your pedals. That's cool. But then underneath it, you have another layer that I think is meant to maybe hold your power brick. What that means is there's not always a huge amount of clearance, especially if you have the pedal tray tilted down. It turns into a bit of a triangle, and you don't have a lot of clearance to get in underneath and hold a bolt. So that's a little bit frustrating for my purpose. The other thing that I think is generally a little bit frustrating is that these bolts here, they're like ratchet bolts. Now, I'm not very good at doing the ratchet, especially in tight places. I prefer to spin these bolts to tighten, spin them to loosen it. The problem is it gets so congested down in that pedal tray area, you can't spin these lever bolts, ratchet lever bolts easily. They hit stuff. So therefore you have to do the ratchet, and it gets a bit frustrating. It also has the same functionality to tilt and move the pedal tray as you see here. Basically exactly the same functionality. So you have to get it in the slat. So you're kind of like shaking it and getting it in. It doesn't feel super elegant. I'm sure there's a better way of doing it. It's absolutely fine if you put your pedals on once and that you leave it for 2 years, which I've done with other rigs. However, if you're chopping and changing pedals all the time, for me, it's not the best design for that. But most people aren't going to be doing it. So that's why I'd love to get your feedback specifically on the pedal tray. It also has the same functionality as the wheel deck in terms of the moving and forward and back, and that's great. There is, again, some levers that you do need to ratchet, because unlike here where they're not spinning and hitting anything, the ones here do actually spin and sometimes hit the kind of cage on the outside, so you need to ratchet it. I would say that once you've got your seat and your pedals in the right position, it's less likely you're going to want to be adjusting that. But it's nice that they've got that full adjustability. It's a really cool feature. It looks really nice to have that mechanism there. And it is a nice feature if you want to move the pedal tray back or forward to get more access to it. So I have some feedback about the pedal tray situation, and I probably will modify those bolts as well. Again, I'll put these kind of M8 bolts I can spin myself to loosen, and maybe that will encourage me more to move the tray like that. What I've been doing so far when I want to change pedals is just taking the whole tray out, like literally unscrewing them all, taking the whole tray out, then I can get underneath everything and putting it back on. Now let's talk about accessories here, because this is quite interesting. I do have an accessory on the rig. On this side, at the moment, it's holding my headphones. It's one of these wings. Now, I did originally have both of these wings on the cockpit, and I had a microphone and camera attached to it. That didn't work for me because the cockpit is really sturdy and it's all connected. All the vibrations through the wheel deck go into that arm, which is understandable. So my camera was getting little vibrations. The microphone was getting little vibrations. It's really high. I use really sensitive equipment for that. I'm sure that can be fixed by just getting like an anti-vibration rubber kind of insert or mat or something. But for the moment, I just removed it on this side and I kept it here as a headphone holder. Now, this doesn't come with $1,000, and those don't come with $1,000 either, I believe. But what you can get as an extra is also a shifter mount, which adds like a bar like here. So it's another bar here on either side you choose. And on there, you can obviously put your shifter panel and then put your shifter there. But then you can also attach things like a keyboard mount. So I probably will be trying that out. Something I do want to try out, and I will ask Fanatec if I can review it, is their matching monitor mount. Now, monitor mounts here is interesting. There's a great feature with this rig I want to let you know about. But for my purposes, I've got a big TV. Because I've got my own monitor stand, it just hits the front of the rig, and that's as close as I have my screen, which is a lot further away than I would want it. Ideally, I'd want the screen like a long way forward. Now, Fanatec make an accessory here that fits perfectly around the rig, so you can slide it here, and it should bring the screen here. But I'm interested to see how that works, because this is a massive screen. So that's interesting. And then you can also mount on that cameras and microphones and lights and, you know, your telemetry screen and all that kind of stuff. So that's interesting. However, this rig already comes with an integrated monitor mount, which is great. It's a really cool feature of this rig. It comes with, I think, connected with a shroud, you have a VESA monitor mount, and it's perfect for 34-inch ultra-wides. Absolutely perfect. If you've got a 34-inch ultra-wide, this is going to be a great rig for that, because you just slot on your 34-inch ultra-wide and it's right here, exactly where you want it. And that's on PC, that's probably one of the best, you know, between that and VR, the best setup you can get for that kind of immersion, really. Better than triples, I would say. So that's fantastic. Now, they also have a PC tray as well, which I haven't put here because it would be in front of my screen. But if you can imagine, if the 34 inches here, you have space there behind to put your PC. So you can have everything on your rig, which is pretty cool. The rig also comes with some little feet that you might not be able to see, but it has little feet on every corner, so it's not just sitting on the tubes. Now, something, believe it or not, that you can do that I clearly haven't done is cable management. And there are lots of places to run cables through the rig. Because these tubes are hollow, there's basically entry points and exit points, you can say. Now, because I'm swapping equipment so much, I haven't really been doing that because I just need to swap equipment at short notice. But if you have your equipment on here that you're using, and you know you're going to be using for years, you can route all your cables and basically not see anything. So it's going to look a lot more satisfying than here, and you're probably going to see some great rig setups online or people who've got this cockpit looking really nice. One thing I would recommend is I would recommend getting this in white. If you are going to buy it, I would get it in white because I just think it looks so good in white. There's a visual thing because all of our wheelbases and our wheels are black, right? And the pedals are all black. It kind of makes sense for it to be contained within this white cockpit. It has a really cool aesthetic to it, almost like feels like a racing car aesthetic, which I really like. And the white seat as well. I just think it looks so good. I don't think this would look as good in black. It's a bit of a statement piece. It's very, very, very stylish. I think also it is available on Amazon, by the way. So if you do want to buy it on Amazon, it may be available on Amazon. If it is, I'll put my usual Amazon affiliate links in the comments below. But yeah, I'm not worried about flexing this rig at all. This is a 25 Newton meter steering wheel. Absolutely fine. No worries. I've been throwing a lot on it. Pretty much everything has worked. In fact, I think everything I've used has worked on this tray. T598, Fanatec GTDD Pro, Asetek Forte, Simucube 2 Pro, Conspit Aries, I forget what else we've had on here, but everything has worked on this tray, which is amazing, so it's properly up to date. And it's a really nice rig. It's a really nice rig. It is expensive. So I want to know your thoughts. Do you think aesthetically, firstly, this is a nice rig? Maybe you think it is, maybe it isn't. And if so, do you think it justifies the price? And what do you think about the Fanatec buying kind of proposition at the moment? Do you feel safe with that? I'm really interested to hear from you. I'm going to keep reviewing this rig and keep doing updates on it. So yeah, make sure you look out for those on the channel, and I'll see you next time.